So I got to think about this. I wrote at the top of my notes, fight desperation. I can't think about this. I gotta really go into the weeds here. I gotta fight desperation on how I would do this. Because, let me ask you, okay, we're in different modes here. I wouldn't have made the trade for Deshaun Watson. I didn't think that Baker was long for here, but I didn't know how we were going to get out of the situation. All right? That said, that's that. That's in the past. I got to look at this and going, okay, I wouldn't have made this decision to bring in Deshaun Watson, so I'm not the one who has to answer for it. Me personally. Right? Right. Okay, so how do I take this situation here? All right, they haven't made any trades. What do I want to do to lead this football team forward? Because you have a Jets team that they got, you just said it, they got themselves a new general manager. He's looking at this going, this thing ain't going anywhere. We're going to make the decision now. We're going to pull the plug. We'll find other players. We got to get the offense going. We really need to find the right quarterback, and we got to get this thing going in the right direction.
And that having some good young talent on defense doesn't really equate to winning football games until you have the offense figured out.
Exactly.
Does that sound familiar?
Exactly. That's it. I mean, it's true. You can have a great defense, but you can have a great defense. You just can't have an historically bad offense. It's unwatchable. It's an unwatchable offense. And you went from this plan of quarterback of grandeur to it was boom or bust. It was absolute bust. So now what do I do? All right, are we operating are we operating that Andrew Berry is going to be let go or not? Because you could very well say that at the end of all this, well, Andrew Berry doesn't want to be the guy to trade for Deshaun Watson and be the guy who traded away Myles Garrett, the same guy to do that. You can also look at it like Jimmy Haslam and go, you're not going to trade away my players because I don't know if you're going to be here or not. That's the thing that we're fighting here as we try to navigate our way through this, is that everybody's yelling about the owner having his fingers in the pies, and I got Mike Florio saying his spoon is in the soup, in the stew. He's got a spoon in the stew. Okay, but if you guys own the Browns, what would you guys all do right now? Do any of you trust Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski? So if you guys all own the Browns, you guys wouldn't do that. Yeah, most of you would fire them and move on. But that means you're taking control. You are into the situation. You're in it too much. Okay, well, we all got to think about it that way. So if they're not going to make a move because we don't know if they're going to be there, say you're new and you're taking over the Cleveland Browns. What's your plan after this year? Because they ain't going anywhere after this year. So whatever sets at the end of this year is where they're going to be. Draft-wise, draft capital-wise, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can make moves, I think, during the winter. I think they're all on board during the winter, or they're all on the deck to make a move during the winter. But man, I got to really sit here and think this thing out.
So now we weren't able to take advantage of this kind of a market because we don't know if our organization is going to be intact.
I think so.
That's a terrible way to go into a trade deadline.
I think so. But wait a minute.
That's how you lose out. That's how you let teams like the Jets get ahead of you.
But you just said a week ago that you weren't going to trade Myles Garrett until the winter.
No,
that's what you brought up.
I would have traded. I would have seen what the market was. Of course I would have.
Well, I'm sure they took a look at the market, but maybe you're still not going to do that during the winter. Because, again, do you trust Andrew Berry to make the trades? Do you personally?
I think he's made some decent trades.
Okay, then maybe they've made a mistake and we need to talk about that.
I think he's really good. Hold on. I think on paper, people are going to roll their eyes at this. I think he's good at extracting value on paper from an analytical sense. I think that's one of his strengths. I think if this doesn't go well in Cleveland, that should absolutely be part of his future.
So you trust him to make the trades. You just don't trust him to execute the draft picks.
No, and I don't trust. What I don't trust.
One draft class is not going to save the other five.
And I like this class even before I saw him play football. So this was the first one that I was on board with. But I do have to say, like, the draft is just one portion of the responsibilities of a GM. I do not trust Andrew Berry to run an organization and to manage an entire organization. I think having 4 quarterbacks come to camp this year and having 2 quarterback competitions, having 2 timelines, young and old. Are the Browns old or are they young? Well, it depends on who you talk to. What? That doesn't make any sense. So those are the things that I do not believe in him at all.
Then you just said it. For all those reasons, then I don't think they made a mistake yesterday. I still think Myles Garrett will still be, if you really wanted to squeeze the trigger, I think Myles Garrett at the end of this season, God forbid something terrible happens, I still think he'll be worth the same 3 first-round picks that he was right now. Denzel Ward is probably worth the same first-round pick that he was before. 1 first-round pick.
You're always one concussion away from that.
I know you're always one concussion away from that, but you're one injury away from a lot of guys. I have to look at their top end and their talent.
He's got a history. Like I don't know what his value. He's turning 29 in April. I'm not sure. What do you think his value was? Related? Hold on. What do you think his value was related to Sauce?
I think if Sauce could get 1 first-rounder, we could definitely get 2 first-rounders. I think we can get 1 first-rounder for Denzel Ward. But when you're talking about concussions, I would look back at you like if you're on the other side. One, I don't even know what the market was for Denzel.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's why I'm asking.
Or where there were any offers or conversations. I'm sure there were. How heated was it? I don't know. But let me ask you. But let me point this out. All right, I got 2 guys that are worth first-round picks in my football team, Miles and Denzel. Okay. And Miles, I still think Miles' trade value is going to be just as high in the winter. You're telling me all these things that I can't fight about Andrew Berry, which means that I don't think that they made a mistake during this trade deadline about about this class and about being able to move on from Miles, because I can still get the same return with people who they're going to be new, so I'm naturally going to want to give them more trust. People I trust more, or if I were taking over the job myself, I'm going to obviously trust myself than I would Andrew Berry. So you can bring up the trade. Okay, a lot of people can trade Myles Garrett for 3 first-round picks. I think you, Anthony Lima, if you just went in there and took the phone, I'm sure a lot of teams would line up and trade 3 first-round picks with Anthony Lima. So it doesn't take Andrew Berry to trade Myles Garrett for 3 first-round picks. Then you have to think about everything else, and all you brought up was just a big indictment against Andrew Berry. So in that case, because of that, and this is definitely me doing handsprings in my head, this is why you did not make a mistake yesterday. If you are one of the people who do not trust Andrew Berry, which is many of you, then I can't say you lined up and made a mistake, because I don't know if he's going to be gone. And if he's not going to be gone, then you'd be really nervous going, all right, we got all these draft picks, but I still got the same guy drafting them. And he's had 1 good draft class, but he's had 5 other ones that have been scattershot at best.
That man, it just seems like them we're in limbo as an organization.
Okay, but when you have a new guy who probably comes in February, you can still trade Myles Garrett. You can still trade Denzel Ward. You can still trade all the other guys you want to trade. And you will still be in a cap situation that's bad, but no one's going to expect you to be pretty good in the first place. And then I could use those draft picks, and I can use that capital if I wanted to on building a nice young offensive line and doing it the way that everybody wants to do it. And then I could take a guy, and really, if I really wanted to do it, I'd take a couple of those draft picks, and I don't think I'm trading first rounders, but I'm definitely giving a call. If you want the Ken Carman layout to this, I'm giving a call to the 49ers and seeing what they want for Mac Jones and seeing if I can't get something together for Mac Jones, or maybe even Brock Purdy for that matter, but probably not, because I don't know if you could really swing that with all the money that's out there. So I would like to make some sort of a deal there, if we can make some sort of a deal, and bring in a veteran quarterback, and then I'll take another guy and I'll just sit him. Because if we're going to sit here and we're going to grind over all these quarterbacks that are coming out in the draft, I don't know, I think we can all agree that do we all need to start them week 1, or is that just old style thinking now? The new style of thinking where you have to start them week 1, I don't know if that's true anymore. I think we've kind of come around on that. We're going, hey, let's wait a second here. We don't need to just throw this kid out there because he's a first-round pick and we have to pay off on that. Let's see where this goes. I'll let the game come to him. That's not me being desperate. That's me being as pragmatic. This is the first time I've been pragmatic about this in weeks. This is the first time my brain has not been scrambled about this situation in weeks. And if you think that my brain is still scrambled, yeah, that's how bad the situation we're in right now.
So we know this. We're playing the Jets this week. The line has shifted like 4 full points. We were underdogs before these trades. Today, as the league and Vegas think now the Jets are tanking, the Jets fans are going to be rooting for the Jets to lose this week. How should the Browns fans feel? That was a very long pause. I thought you'd be resolute.
So I always reach this point in the season that goes off the rails, and I've reached it many times. What?
I've got my recorder ready.
I've reached this point before, and God willing, I hope I won't reach it ever again. We have reached the point in the season where I am no longer mad if they lose. I'm not. Oh, Owen? Shut up! No, don't Owen? You dare! Don't you dare!
Oh, will you do it with me?
No.
Whoa!
I'm never, ever.
Put it on the headline, Joey.
Don't do it.
Headline it.
Joey, don't do it. Mitch, don't do it. I'm never going to celebrate losing. It's never going to happen, and I'm never going to hope that they lose. It will never happen. You hear me? Ever. I don't want to hope to lose because that's all losers continue to do is they lose and they want an excuse to be lazy. And laziness is hoping that they lose.
However,
because it takes, as in the words of the great Anthony Lima, and I'm speaking right into the camera right now so everybody can see me, and the words of that guy right there, what have you said many times? Any idiot can tear down a franchise.
Easiest thing to do.
It's the easiest thing to do. Tearing it down's easy. Building it up takes skill. So I'm not gonna root for them to lose because it's a thing that a lot of lazy people at the end of it want to do. Let's lose. Let's just lose. We'll lose and we'll get a nice high draft pick. It's much easier for people to beg for more time on great ideas than look at Paul DePodesta for crying out loud. Give me more time for my great ideas. Yeah, what's that ever gotten us? Have we lost our 100th game yet with Paul DePodesta, or is that anniversary coming up against the Ravens?
Oh, the race to 100.
Yeah, the Paul DePodesta race to 100. Somebody put his overall record there when he's in charge of the Browns in some capacity, even though we never really know what he does. I don't ever hope for losing, and I will never root for losing, ever. Ever. But, yeah, there's times and seasons where I'm not so heartbroken if they lose.
This is a major breakthrough.
No, it's not. You shouldn't be happy about that.
I'm not happy. It's just a breakthrough. Because it's a departure from Ken's traditional way.
It's winning, now losing for the Cleveland Browns. You said somebody said I was wearing my flip-flops in? Why?
Yeah, well, I imagine it's on, the situation with the full-on Jets tank. We happen to be playing the Jets this week, and you finally opening the door.
But I've done this a bunch of times because I've had to deal with a bunch of terrible Brown seasons.
Well, opening the door to not celebrating a loss, but certainly you're not going to be down in the dumps about it.
No,
this week.
And that's the worst thing that's possible for anybody listening to the show or really listening to the radio. That's the worst thing. If I just let this wash all over me, I know what you guys want out of me, and I fight it every single day. It's amazing. Ken, you get so loud and you get so mad. Why? And then I hear the same people going, come on, fatty, let him have it. Come on, yell at him. I want you to yell at him because you can't yell at him, so I yell at him. The difference is, though, if I just go, well, that's the end of the season, here we are, you ain't going to get that now. You aren't gonna. There's a couple of scenarios where I think I might get mad, and they'll probably play out. So I'm sure there's a couple of blow-ups coming still throughout the year, but they have to reach that scenario. As of right now, I don't know if they will. And so once I just accept that this is who they are, and we're just going to ride this thing out to the year for the rest of the year, and I'm not going to be mad after they lose, okay. We've reached the point in the season where I am no longer mad if they lose. Go. We've reached that point in the season.
Wow, to hear it like that.
If they lose to the Jets, I'm going to be disappointed and I'm probably going to be disheartened, but am I going to come in here and waste my voice and waste my pulse and my good sense by yelling at them? Like I've done in the past? Like I do when I still have hope? No. Now, if they go out there and they do things like with Dillon Gabriel that I think are nonsensical, or they do things with Shedeur Sanders that I think are silly, if they roll out Deshaun Watson out there and he goes out and sucks up the room and the fans are booing him, my pulse might get raised. Because I know what you people want. I know that there is a destiny like Lieutenant Dan where my heart just explodes here and that's what happens and that's the end of me here on the air. I know that. I know that's what they want. But now you reach a point where it's like, hey, now we know what the rest of the season is. Because even if they did, like say Jimmy Haslam got involved, and you can't sit there and say he shouldn't get involved. Every single one of you would get involved. Every single one of you would get involved. You guys all call up to fire the head coach and the general manager. That means you would get involved. So if Jimmy Haslam got involved and said he didn't want his star players, the one he puts on billboards, the ones that he can actually sell tickets with, traded, because he doesn't want anybody else making these moves until that he puts those people in, all right, we just got to wait until the end of this year because we're going to have these conversations over the winter. They're not very good. They're not going to be very good. The rest of this season where we go, well, they got 3 more wins on there. Says who? Says how do we know they got 3 more wins on there? Now, they could have traded some guys and definitely wouldn't have had 3 more wins on there. But if you believe that they have 3 more wins on there, I think that a lot of these teams are circling you too. So we can't guarantee that. So we'll go into this offseason, and I will sit there and wait for the Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward conversation to start all over again. We'll see what they do with David Njoku, whether or not they want to sign David Njoku or get a compensatory pick. Now, I'm not necessarily sure he's a first-round pick. I don't know how it works now since he's been in the league for umpteen years, but maybe we'll get a compensatory pick out of him. I would like to sign Wyatt Teller to an extension. I would like to sign Alex Wright to an extension. I would like to do both those things. I think Alex Wright is a fine young player, and I would like to bring him along. I would love to keep Wyatt there because I just need somebody I can count on my offensive line.
They can't have a clean sweep going into next year.
And that's why, and I heard Albert Breer yesterday, that's why you really couldn't trade away Wyatt Teller, because you still got to, you at least still want to evaluate whatever you want to evaluate with Dillon Gabriel again, and then you still want to evaluate Shedeur. So if you want to evaluate Shedeur, I'm not going to put Shedeur out there without Wyatt Teller when the rest of my offensive line, good God, you get another injury, I'm bringing in a guy off the street. And when they were playing, like, I know it worked once with Blake Hans. Once it worked. It probably wouldn't work this time around. 216-474-0092. Now, winning is not losing for the Browns. I don't want them to lose. Rooting for them to tank again is lazy. Rooting for them to tank again is it's not even where you're fighting to try to find an easy way out. They've tried to find the easy way out, and somehow they've always made it harder. Them, the Jets, the Dolphins, they always make it harder on themselves when they lose. The only
thing, Kenny, the thing that I would see that I would say is a win out of a win is if, we always talk about, do the rookies look really good? Well, unfortunately, Schwessinger's not going to play, right? What's the deal with Judkins? Is he going to be able to go? And then, the one I'd really be looking at is Dillon Gabriel. So this is where it gets interesting. Mm-hmm. If Dillon Gabriel plays really well, if he has his breakout game, that's a win, right? He's a rookie. You drafted him. Breakout game.
I don't think so.
Well, you haven't seen anything close to that yet. Why would that not be a win?
I don't have faith that there's going to... a breakout game against who?
Against the Jets this week.
Please.
Well, wait a second. We played Miami.
Please.
And he wasn't able to break out of it.
I'm in evaluation mode here. If he has a breakout game against the Jets, I'm still going to go, all right.
You won't be celebrating
hand
that?
to God, I will... What's your definition of celebrate?
Yeah, look, I
will celebrate a Browns win because we get so few of them, but there's no way I'm going to sit there and think that we have light at the end of the tunnel because he beat the Jets after they traded away two of their biggest defensive stars.
Does that show any cohesiveness with a new
Breece Hall's having a public pity party out there. Are you nuts?
A cohesiveness with a new play caller? You don't think there'll be some Browns fans that will be excited about that?
Yeah, and I'll say, I'm not going to dump on what you're thinking. Let's talk after the Ravens game.
I don't think Ken Carman on a Monday is going to be poo-pooing a Dillon Gabriel breakout performance.
Write it down in perpetuity, my friends.
I don't even know this guy I work with.
Maybe I'm just going Hollywood Hogan all of a sudden. Maybe I'm the third man in. Because I'm going to tell you right now, unless he goes out there and throws for 404 touchdowns, which he ain't, unless he goes out and does that, no. I am sick and tired of being desperate myself. I'm sick and tired of jumping from some crazy idea to another crazy idea. This is the most clarity I've had in weeks. Okay? Weeks. I am sick and tired of trying to find ways out of this situation that I didn't even help create because I didn't want to make the trade. See, that's why they'll get their anger, because you're going to accuse me of things. That ain't going to happen. Nope, not with me. Ain't going to happen.
No, wait.
Nope.
I've never heard Ken like this. You want to talk about a breakthrough.
If they win on Sunday, I'm glad they win on Sunday. But unless he goes out there and does Steve Young things, and he ain't going to do it, no, my opinion does not change.
Boy,
not at all.
This kind of
that is a career backup you're putting out there, and I'm not going to say anything different until he actually proves it against a decent football team.
This will sound to some that you just want to see Shedeur, and you don't want Dillon to succeed because it puts off Shedeur.
No.
It holds him off.
It
buys him more weeks.
It buys him another week. And
week.
I'm not just going to sit there like this if he goes out and beats the Ravens, who are a better football team by far than the New York Jets. If he beats the Ravens and plays well, and there's no crazy acts of God that happen out there, yeah, I'm going to give credit where it's due. I'm going to go, okay, maybe I'm changing a little bit on him. But I'm not going to sit there and let the Jets fool me. How many times have I made this season already and made this team make me look like a damn fool? Ain't going to happen. No, not for the rest of this year. I'm an excitable boy. I love winning, and I love the sweet taste of victory, even though we only get it so few times. So, yeah, there might be a Super Bowl Super Browns on Monday just because the people want it, but I ain't going to line up and do it. It ain't going to be the first thing I say at 6 o'clock on Monday morning. You can bet your ass on that. No.
Man, think of how much it's changed in a week.
You guys want to be big picture? I'm going to be big picture.
Ken's looking for wins by any means necessary. Now I deliver you a breakout performance by one of Andrew Barry's picks.
I will take a win.
Ken's like, no,
I'll take a win.
Let him do it for me.
I will take a win. But if you, what do you want me to do? You want me to anoint him?
Now wait, what if it was?
No, you're not going to talk me into
what if it was
like
Shedeur Sanders playing this week? How would you feel about it?
I think Shedeur Sanders has a higher ceiling.
But wait, how would you feel about it? Just tell the people how you feel about it.
If he went out there and he won?
If Shedeur had the performance I'm talking about for Dillon Gabriel, how would you feel if Shedeur authored up the exact same performance?
That's fantastic. Let's see against the Ravens now.
I don't know if I believe this.
That's fantastic. Let's see against the Ravens now.
I absolutely do not believe
Well, then you don't know Kenny Carmen.
I don't know him today.
I can be a pretty big, fat stick in the mud.
This is a new Ken Carmen.
216-474-0090.
What happened?
If you don't believe me, you go ahead and call me out. I swear to God. This is where. No.
I swear to God. Monday morning.
What has changed?
No.
I want to know. Has something changed?
No.
We got our guy.
What's the stat line? What's the stat line? What's the stat line? Give me the stat line right now for Dillon Gabriel.
24 of 31, 325, 2 touchdown passes.
Okay.
Ken's going to poo-poo
325.
Yeah.
He's going to throw for 325.
Ken's going to poo-poo that.
Okay. We playing Ignatius or are we playing the Jets? That wasn't a shot. Put in a different high school team. I'm sorry. We playing Kirtland or are we playing the Jets? Are we playing Kirtland or are we playing the Jets? Okay. 325? Okay. He's going to throw for 325 and 2 touchdowns on Sunday. Is that it?
I want to know, did something happen in our... Was there a sea change in our country last night? Did something change?
Oh, God. Here you go.
Did something change? Because Ken sounds like a different person.
Guys, I know
he's watching the news right now and seeing results on the bottom of the screen. Did something change last night?
Can I just have some common sense? Can I just have a little common sense? Can I just have... Guys, come on. You guys are driving around. Seriously. I'll open up the phones. 216-474-0092. None of you guys believe that. None of you believe that, unless your last name is Gabriel. None of you guys believe that he's going to do that. And so I don't have to act like that because I know it ain't going to happen. They might win 13-10. He'll throw for 163 yards on the umpteen different passes, I'm sure, and they're going to average about 3.5 yards a pass. Oh, we found our answer, did we? Okay.
Robert says Ken has gone Christmas Clark Griswold on you for sure.
No.
It's a new day.
The guys, this is as clear-headed as I've been in quite a while. It feels great. I feel exuberant right now.